Did you know that EV drivers can pay up to 3 times more than they need to for charging? Well, here are some ways to avoid extra costs wherever possible. Whether you're new to EVs or a seasoned pro, these tips could save you hundreds over the year. Let's start with the obvious one, but we won't dwell on it. Charging at home is where you can save the most, especially if you play it smart by switching to a dedicated EV tariff. In fact, you can find out how much you could save by checking out our EV charge cost comparison tool. But here are some extra tips for charging at home. Precondition your car while it's plugged in. Did you know the precondition feature on your car goes a lot further than just cooling down or warming up the cabin? It warms up the battery too, and if you precondition while it's plugged in, it will draw power from the grid rather than the battery, allowing you to get more range out of your charging sessions. Take advantage of charging incentive schemes. Apps like EV.energy and Equiwatt offer rewards like Amazon vouchers or even money off your energy bill in exchange for allowing them to set charging schedules while the grid is generating surplus renewable energy. With Equiwatt, you can also schedule appliances like your dishwasher or dryer to earn even more points on top of your EV charging. That's home charging sorted, but what about when you're on the road? Well, that's where public charging comes in. Unfortunately, public charging is also where costs can go through the roof, but here's some tips to help keep the bank balance happy. Shop around. It might be tempting to pit stop at a motorway service station en route, and we get it, they're easy to find, plentiful, have facilities like toilets and a place to grab a bite to eat. But there's a catch. These service stations can potentially charge upwards of 80 pence per kilowatt hour, more than triple the average price you pay at home, at least at the time of this video. But if you use a mapping service like ZapMap or Electroverse, you can often find cheaper rapid chargers that are only a little off the beaten track. And what's more, these chargers are less likely to be in use, meaning less queuing. And while we're talking about rapid and ultra rapid charging being convenient, it's also pricey. So if you're not in a rush, ask yourself, do you need to rapid charge? Many supermarkets, shopping centres and public car parks near city centres offer lower cost AC charging. These chargers typically charge at 7 kilowatts, which add around 30 miles of range per hour, with some going higher if they're connected to a 3-phase power supply. Just be sure to check your EV's charging times beforehand to see if you can take advantage of these charging speeds. And if you're really strapped for time and need to use a rapid charger, try to use one that matches your car's max charging rate, as some networks will charge more for higher charging speeds. Look out for discounts. Some charging networks offer discounts when you start a charging session using their own app. Take GridServe for example. If you use contactless to pay for your charging sessions, you could pay anywhere from 79 pence per kilowatt hour to 85 pence per kilowatt hour. Use their app however, and they will guarantee that you always pay just 79 pence. And if there's no price difference between contactless and the network's app, services like Electroverse offer plunge pricing on popular networks such as Osprey and Ionity, where drivers can knock 20% off their charging bills when charging at particular times. Just be sure to double check, as some charging services will charge you more than the contactless price displayed on the charger. Take this example of an Osprey rapid charger in Peterborough. On the Shell Recharge app, the cost is 85 pence per kilowatt hour, when the contactless price is just 82 pence per kilowatt hour. While on Electroverse, the price is 82 pence per kilowatt hour as standard, but plunge pricing is available between 7 PM and 11 PM, meaning the price comes down to 65.6 pence per kilowatt hour. So it's well worth checking you're paying the lowest price at any given time. Make stopping part of the holiday. If you're headed for your holidays and a long journey is inevitable, it can be tempting to get there as quickly as possible, especially if you have a family in tow, which likely means a stop at a rapid or ultra rapid charger. That's a perfectly reasonable option, but have you considered stopping at a destination on the way that offers the opportunity to recharge your car and your family? Not only can this save you money on charging and food, but it can also break up the journey and make it feel part of the adventure of travelling to your ultimate destination. For example, the National Trust has hundreds of sites across the UK, and you can usually find one on the way to your final stop. Plus, many have free or low-cost charging stations. Granted, they won't be ultra rapid chargers, but if you're taking the time to explore and grab something to eat, then a couple of hours charging is probably all you need, especially if it's just a top-up. Of course, the National Trust is just one example and it does require an entry fee or membership, but if you make it part of your holiday anyway and it keeps the children happy and quiet, then it's a win-win for us. Now that you're where you need to be, there's still ways you can eke out some extra pennies when charging at your destination. Free charging is very much going the way of the dodo, but it doesn't mean that there isn't any out there. Again, ZapMap can help you with this thanks to its free charging filter, plus many dealerships such as Nissan and Renault also offer free charging to those driving the models they make, so if you know there's a dealership nearby, it can't hurt to ask. Bring a picnic. Whether you reach your destination or you're just stopping for a quick top-up, it might be tempting to grab a coffee or a bite to eat from one of the places nearby. These can quickly add up and eat in, no pun intended, to the savings you've been making by driving an EV. So think about the journey ahead of time and ask yourself, do you really need to buy that coffee or steak slice? And if you know you'll need to eat and drink, consider bringing a packed lunch and a thermos flask with a hot drink from home. Another holiday tip here, but when choosing your accommodation, look out for places with EV charging. Many cottages, B&Bs and more have charge points installed now, so they're easy to find and low cost. On many booking sites, including Airbnb, there is a filter to select accommodation with EV charging. Easy. Even if you find somewhere that doesn't have a dedicated charging point, it's worth asking if they have any provision for it on site. I've even stayed on a farm in the middle of nowhere in Wales and they were very happy for me to use their outdoor 3-pin sockets for a small fee we agreed over email. This meant we needed a much smaller top-up en route to the destination and absolutely zero public charging while we were in Wales, saving us plenty of cash and time. So there you have it. Smart tariffs, strategic charging and a few hidden gems. All of this adds up to hundreds of pounds saved every year. Do you have a tip that we've missed? Drop it in the comments below. But for now, see you next time.